Hey guys, we're back again with Love Island season 8. Now we're at episode 15. Last time we left off with Amber walking in on a conversation between Jay, Ekinsu, and Dami about their relationship, where Dami's more attracted to India and they have better chemistry. All right, and she walked in. The conversation was a little bit awkward, and then she gave Jay advice. Her advice to him was to make more of an effort with the girls because they hardly see any of them, any part of him. He's just isolated with the boys, or he's talking to Ekinsu. And she just gave that advice, and right away Ekinsu flips out and she's yelling about, oh, why does he have to do this? You should worry about your own relationship and all this stuff. And it was just a little bit much. She was just simply giving them advice because they're all living together in the same house. And now she's sitting right next to him and she barely knows what to say. So she's just like, recommend like he open up a little bit more to the rest of the girls, as a friendship thing, not like a, flirtation sort of thing. So, and yeah, so the argument happened and she walks away. Amber walks away. And then Dami walks away. He called Amber to go have a chat, but just those two. So he called her away. She didn't just walk away. And then it was just Ekinsu and Jay. And Jay he wanted to give Ekinsu some advice because they are kind of isolated. And Ekinsu is not really talking to the girls much because they don't really have that good a relationship with her. They kind of fake it. Just a lot of fake being cool with her. Which is weird because the previous time when they were like all on her team when she was going against Davide, they were like on her team because she sort of set it up that way. Before her lies were revealed, she went to the girls and made it seem like this is just how she was feeling and she wasn't sure how to go about it. And then he was the one attacking her. She sort of manipulated the whole situation in that way. But afterwards, after the story comes out, and everyone knows what's going on, the girls are kind of avoiding her because they think she's kind of fake. So Jay's advice to her was to make more of an effort with the girls. And she was like, what are you talking about? I'm fine with the girls. The girls love me. He said, well, it seems like Amber and Gemma doesn't really like you that much. And she blows up at him. And yeah, it just, it was a weird sort of situation. And then after that, we have a situation here with India and Ikenna, where India was wanted to talk to him, and she was talking to him about the fact that she doesn't feel any sort of chemistry or spark, and they don't have that romantic sort of element. She likes him, but they don't have that sort of romantic element to them, and she asked him his opinion on it, and he said he doesn't really know. He hasn't been thinking about it. So yeah, so that was pretty much their talk, which comes right after Dami's expressing his affection for her, so it might not be a mutual thing. All right, so they had that conversation. Right after that, India goes to the girls and explains to them what kind of conversation she had with Ikenna. And then Ikenna went to Dami and talked to him about it. And Dami was honestly surprised that was going on, because he didn't want to go there because he and Ikenna are really good friends. All right, so I mean, unknowingly, Ikenna is giving them a green light and he doesn't even know what's going on, So it is what it is, a complicated sort of situation. And all the girls are there supporting India in her decision to sort of have that conversation. You see them there. Okay. All right, so after they had that conversation, then Jay had that conversation with Ekinsu, and the rest of the girls were kind of isolated. Then we come over here, and Dami pulled India aside for a chat and she was sort of talking about her situation with Ikenna. She thought that's what he wanted to talk about because they're really good friends. And then slowly he introduced the fact that they might have some sort of chemistry, and she was sort of smiling and laughing about it. So it was a very positive sort of situation there. He was gauging a little bit to see if he should make a move. And yeah, she seems very receptive to it. Right. And this whole time, Amber is completely clueless about what's going on between those two. And he hasn't really talked to her about it, especially since Amber and India are also good friends, just like he and Ikenna is. So, and then after that, we have Ekinsu. She's mad at Jay for bringing up that conversation where he's telling her it seems like the girls don't really like her. So she goes to Amber and she frames it like she's mad at Jay because of what he said. And Amber was like, oh, no, it's not like that. And she explains her point was that a lot of the stuff that Ekinsu is doing kind of comes off a little fake sometimes. She's not sure if it's fake, but it just kind of comes off that way. And Ekinsu loses her shit. She starts getting angry. She's like, who are you to talk to me like this? And she's then she made reference to the fact that her relationship with Dami might be rocky. She didn't say it outright, but she already knew the information, but she threw it out there at her face when she doesn't even know what's going on, sort of like to get back at her. All right, so they're going back and forth for a while. The rest of the girls kind of hear them getting loud, and they come over to see what's going on. So they all came over and they are sat right there next to them as they're having this argument. And they're just sort of looking, and Ekinsu gets to this part where she's just like, oh, if you don't like me, that's fine. The rest of the girls like me. And she's like, well, everyone else had this problem. I'm just the only one that's real enough to say it to you. And she says, oh, really? And then Gemma, who's sat right there, says, yeah, well, I've felt the same, and many of the other girls, we've also felt the same way about you, in that, you know, some things that you're doing comes off as a little bit fake. And she's like pissed off. And she's like, oh, why have you not said that to me before? And Gemma is like, well, we're saying it to you now. Then she starts crying. And immediately Amber just rolls her eyes, because that's the kind of stuff that comes off fake, the sudden crying. And she's just going at Amber again, and all the girls walks away from her, and she's feeling like shit, and they all just sort of avoid her. All right. So they go into the other room. What was it, the makeup room? I guess they're all getting ready for bed. And Gemma is talking to the girls about what just happened, about the whole argument. And she's talking about Ekinsu and the way she reacted and all this stuff. And Ekinsu walks in and she kind of gets quiet, and they have this whole drama. Now Ekinsu knows how Gemma feels, which is Gemma was like one of her minions that she had on her side when she was going after Davide, and now they have this whole thing. But the thing with girls is, like, especially if they have to live together, they're gonna have their arguments. Their relationships revolve around just sort of fakery a little bit. Like they project kindness and friendship to each other, even if they don't feel that way, just because they don't want to be around each other and have to deal with the conflict constantly. They can do conflict in small bursts, but not like a continuous sort of thing where they have that energy where they walk into a room with another person, they have to avoid them and stuff like that. So they do the whole fakeness. So I already knew immediately the next day they're going to do a whole fake apology thing, and all of a sudden they're going to be besties again. It's not even worth paying attention to. Like, to invest energy in any kind of spat or argument that girls have with each other is just a waste of your time. Right, so they did that. Next day, guys and girls separated, and they have a conversation. And the girls are obviously talking about the Ekinsu situation, and how everything went down. And the guys were talking about the same thing, where Jay was talking about the fact that he feels bad that what he said sort of led to the whole thing kicking off, but he just doesn't want to be with a girl where he's just isolated with her, because none of the other girls like her. He wants to be with a girl that's like actually popular and can get along with other people. All right, so that's why he said he brought it up. So that happened. And then, of course, as I predicted, the next day, Amber and Ekin-Su had an awkward moment in the makeup room. And then all of a sudden, Amber decided to actually have the conversation because she was feeling that awkwardness, and it got to her. And they all of a sudden they start smiling and laughing and then giving the fake apologies and all this stuff. And yeah, it just, nothing was resolved. They just act like it didn't happen, and they just kind of explain away their behavior. When Amber is like, "Oh, I didn't mean to come at you," and blah blah blah, and Ekin-Su was like, "Oh, I just felt like you're coming at me, so I went that way." And it's like none of them dealt with the actual issues. They just said the words that they're saying. They're like, "Oh, I wish I didn't say it." That's pretty much their defense. I wish I didn't say what I said. I said what I said. I overreacted and I got emotional. None of them want to deal with the actual issues. They just, just put a Band-Aid on it and then act like they're besties again. So now we have Dami once again revealing to someone else about his supposed secret that he's into India, and now he chose to do it with Andrew, and he's like, "Oh, don't tell anybody. I'm feeling this way, and I want to see what's going on with India and all this stuff." We're just like, come on, bro, just be honest. Like, this sneakiness and going around, like, it's just not gonna work. Just be straight up with it. Then, of course, we go with Kenna deciding to pull India aside, and he brought up the conversation that they had the night before, and he said he just never really thought about it, and he just never thought that was really a problem. And then she explains to him like the whole romantic aspect is not really there. They could still be friends, and she pretty much friend zoned him. And yeah, they're no longer, she's like, we can still get to know each other, but it's just like, take a step back and that kind of stuff. So yeah, he got friend zoned. So that is pretty much over with them. It's not like you can just walk back from the friend zone. So that's just more talking about the same shit we just saw. And then there was a challenge they had to do where they were spitting drinks in each other's mouths. It's just weird. Where they run across the stage, take a sip from one drink, hold it in their mouth, and then spit it in the other person's mouth, and that person spit into a glass, and then the competition is to fill up the glass the fastest or whatever. It was gross and not worth mentioning. Right, and then we have Paige and Jax really getting along, and they're really like vibing and really feeling each other. So I'm thinking, what is her name? Danica? Yeah, she just made another wrong choice. Like I thought. She just keeps she's just like, well, oh no, outside world, this would be my type. Like, come on, read the room, lady. So that's her second rejection. And you all know she can't take rejection. Okay. Leave there. Oh, and then Danica decided to have a conversation with Davide, and which now she's telling him that he's he's really good looking and all this stuff. And he was like, oh, and she's like, well, you know it and all this stuff. And he just having this conversation. And she's like, I don't know if I told you this, but you're definitely in the running of one of the guys that I'm actually interested in. And he's like, no, I had no idea. He pretty much gave up on that. Like I would have too. She's just stuck on the type of guys she would date outside the house, which is those two guys that pretty much not interested in her. And she got just blown off. Now she's trying to like wind her way back to him. It's just like, nah, you're just trying to stay in the house kind of thing. It's just not, it's just not a good look. And he's not trying to do that fake stuff. Not again, after he coupled up with a goddamn actress. And he didn't even choose her. He didn't even get a choice because because Luca chose the girl that he was already coupled up with. All right, and then we have Paige and Jax just having their first kiss, if you care about that sort of stuff. All right, so they had that kiss. All right, so then Dami decided to actually have a conversation with India, where he expressed his interest to actually pursue her romantically. And she says, yeah, she's interested. And yeah, the kind of thing that he should have done from the very beginning. She's all smiling and laughing. And yeah, so she's liking it. She's definitely digging him. And you could see her over here with this giant eyelashes, like really giving him the eye. So she's interested as well. She just didn't want to make the first move, I guess. And it's time to end the night, where they have a public popularity contest where the public votes for the three guys. The public votes for the guys that they like and the girls that they like, and then three guys with the lowest votes are in danger of going home, and three girls with the lowest votes are in danger of going home. All right, and then the public gets to vote out of those six who of the two goes home, which one guy and which one girl goes home, and it's just going to be the ones with the lowest votes. Which before it started, my prediction was for the three guys. The three guys, I thought it was going to be Ikenna, Jay, Dami, or Andrew. Like it's one of those two. Ikenna and Jay, I think is guaranteed, but Dami or Andrew is the ones that I'm like in between. And for the girls, I thought Tasha, I would have said Danica, but she's not. She's exempt because she just came in a little bit later. And Tasha, definitely Ekin-Su. Ekin-Su is probably going home. She's probably the lowest vote. And Tasha, Ekin-Su, and Amber. Amber, there you go. I would have said India. I would say between Tasha and India, but I think Tasha is a little bit, India is more interesting than Tasha, to be honest, especially to Tasha as a dancer, which is the main thing that she had. And now we get another dancer in the house, and then she's just sort of like off by herself. Well, not by herself, she's just kind of there, just kind of fading into the background, just like Andrew is. Right. So the first vote for the guys with the lowest votes, it is, the first one goes to Ikenna. See him there standing up. Ikenna is the first one with the lowest vote for the guys. After Ikenna, the second one was Jay. Jay, I knew it. Ikenna and Jay. You can see them there. Ikenna, Jay. Lowest votes for the guys. And third one was Andrew. I was gonna bet on Dami instead out of the two, but I thought Andrew would have gotten a hit as well. So we have Kenna, Andrew, and Jay for the lowest for the guys. All right, and of course Tasha is crying. She's like, "Oh my God." Ekin-Su's kind of doing the same thing, but she's not, she's not as worried, I guess. You can see her face there, just kind of concerned, but she probably knows she's going to get some votes. I mean, she's not going to get votes because it's the opposite. All right, so time for the girls. And the first girl is Tasha. Oh. Yes, there she is, right next to Andrew. So they're both members of that couple are in danger. They're probably not going to go home. It's probably going to be Jay and Ekin-Su. If Ekin-Su goes up, but can't remember what she does. Right, who's next? Next one is Amber. Oh boy. Amber, I definitely knew it was going to be Amber. So you can see Tasha, Andrew, Ikenna, Jay, and Amber. So we got one more girl to go. Who's the last girl? The last girl is Ekin-Su. There she is, the actress. Shouldn't have been sneaky. As soon as they did that sneaking around, having the kiss, or she was all excited, I already knew it was curtains for her. As soon as I found out it was a popularity contest, I'm like, it's curtains for her. She messed up real big, faking when there's cameras watching you and the public get to vote and they get to see everything. So, all right, so these are the 6. You got Tasha, Amber, Ekin-Su, Ikenna, Jay, and Andrew. And out of the 6, 2 are going to be going home. 1 guy, 1 girl. And it was not revealed this episode, I don't think. Yeah, I think they just sort of ramped up the tension and just fade to black. So, yes. So, till next episode, we're going to find out which couple is going home. I mean, I said couple because I'm already predicting it's going to be Jay and Ekin-Su. Already predicting it. Or it could be Ikenna and Ekin-Su. That would be interesting. But we'll see. Till next time.